Morning, everyone. I shall be talking about image diagnosis of COVID-19 infections and its specific findings which are being seen up till now. However, before starting it, I would like to again emphasize that a real-time PCR is gold standard for COVID-19 infection. Imaging only supplement it and help in management of the patients. However, unnecessary patient transport should be avoided to check spread of infection. The frequency of imaging should be based on clinical status of the patient. It should be done as and when needed, and there is no need of routine daily imaging. About indications of imaging, according to Fletcher Society consensus statement, which was published in 7th April 2020, the imaging is not indicated in patients with all suspected COVID-19, and it should not be done with mild clinical features. It is only indicated with COVID-19 positive cases and where there are worsening of respiratory status. In a resource constrained environment, imaging is only indicated for medical triage of patient with suspected COVID-19 in patients those are moderate severe clinical features and those have high pre-test probability of disease. However, the images should be focused and you can proceed for chest x-ray. The chest x-ray is portable chest x-ray. Again, the portable ultrasound, that is point of care ultrasound. And if worsening of symptom is there, then you can proceed for CT thorax. The role of imaging is sometimes in diagnosis. Basically, it is on follow-up and severity of the diseases. However, negative X-ray and chest CT does not rule out the disease. A bit about algorithm of image approaches for COVID-19 positive cases. If COVID-19 is suspected, if it is positive, then in mild cases, you need not to do any imaging. But with time, if it is worsening or patient is having some high risk tendencies like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases or immunocompromised states, then you can proceed for further imaging. In moderate and severe cases, only chest x-ray is sufficient. If patient is improving, you can stop doing further clinical radiological imaging. And if it patient worsen, then you can proceed for further follow-up X-rays or point of care ultrasound or CT scans. CT is basically should not be relied upon as a diagnostic or screening tool for COVID-19 as they were not part of diagnostic criteria for COVID-19. However, the CT also lacks the specificity of COVID-19. CT finding should only be used to surrogate diagnostic tests and for complications. However, the appropriate infection control precautions should be followed. Moreover, performing CT routinely for large cohort of patient carries additional risk in form of depletion of resources and increased viral transmission. And about CT, it is a known fact of ionizing radiation. So it should not be followed routinely. A bit about role of bedside ultrasound, that is focus in case of COVID, focuses point of care ultrasound. So USG should be allowed in trials for the diagnosis and risk stratification and follow up the patients with ARDS and pneumonias. This only it can confirm and monitor progress of ARDS and help in detecting complications as ventilator assisted pneumonias and pleural effusions. But again, the ultrasound is operator dependent. And if you require to follow up the ultrasound, you have to be restricted to one operator if feasible. A bit about infection of disinfection of equipment, that is necessary and that should always be done with each and every single use. Radiographic features varies in COVID-19 and those of atypical pneumonias or organizing pneumonias. However, imaging has limited sensitivity and it can be up to 18% patient demonstrate normal chest radiographs or CT, and in late cases or severe diseases, it may be 97% positive. However, the bilateral and multifocal involvement is common in chest CTs. In plain radiography is less sensitive than chest CT because chest CT shows all the findings very clearly. It's axial cut sections. So you can go step by step and can have features of pneumonias and other findings in COVID-19. Chest radiograph may be normal in early disease. So if their clinical symptoms suggest, we can proceed for chest CT. And in most frequent findings are airspace opacities, whether described as consolidation or pneumonias, or less commonly as ground glass opacities. The distribution of this ground glass opacities and pneumonias is most often bilateral, peripheral, and lower zone predominance is always seen. In contrast to parenchymal abnormalities, pleural effusion a bit rare. This is a chest radiograph which appears to be normal. However, on the CT scan, you can see right lower zone ground glass opacities. This is again a chest skygram of a patient of COVID that shows ground glass opacification and consolidation. Here you can see the bias. So patient is a known case of cardiac problems where the CABG has been done. Here the image are showing evaluation of findings in COVID-19 patients from bilateral, peripheral, alveolar consolidations to ARDS in 3 days of admission. Here the CT scan, HRCT scan that shows ground glass opacification in peripheral zones. Basically, the lower lobe predominance is there. They are multiple, multifocal, bilateral, and peripheral. They are basically located in the inferior lobes. Here, the few patterns which are also seen in different cases. Here you can see the thickened interlobular and intralobular lines in combination with multiple GGOs. That is crazy-baby pattern seen in COVID also. Here, the multiple GGOs with widening of the vessels seen in between. In this scan, the areas of ground glass opacification is seen with traction bronchiectasis. And these are basically the late features. In this section, the architectural distortion is seen with formation of subpleural bands. So the CT finding changes over time. In early stages, within 4 days, the only ground glass opacities, crazy paving patterns, and with lower number of involved lobes. With progressive disease, 5 to 8 days, extension of GGOs and increased crazy paving pattern is seen. The peak stage is seen in 10 to 30 days where their consolidations are formed. They are multiple, as already told about. They are peripheral, bilateral, symmetrical, and basically in the lower lobe. And the last is, you can see more than 40 days, maybe gradual resorption or the worsening of the symptoms. In early phase, those shows multiple areas of GGOs, basically peripheral distribution bilaterally and in the lower zones. Here in the late phase, you can see all the findings where there is traction bronchiectasis, thickening of the vessels, and multiple GGOs and ground glass opacity suggestive of consolidations with fibrotic bands. Here also the same findings, traction bronchiectasis, thickening of the vessels, and fibrotic bands and consolidations. So there are other atypical findings are also seen in cases of COVID, where you can think of other superadded bacterial pneumonias. In that case, you can look for mediastinal and lymphadenopathy, pleural effusions, multiple tiny pulmonary nodules, pre-bud appearance, pneumothorax, and cavitations. So basically, what we are seeing here, we are seeing ARDS type of pictures or consolidations, typically of bilateral symmetrical involving peripheral zones and lower lobes. However, in most of the cases, what we are seeing basically the cases with previous finding of tuberculosis. like these are sequelae tuberculosis is there in the upper lobes and all. So that again suggests the patient is again immunocompromised or low risk, high risk cases. So these are the association. However, we have not done much of CT scans in cases of COVID. So we don't have much of experience of our own SGPGI. So knowledge, here I would like to add, the knowledge of this condition is evolving. So all published information may not be up to date. So we have to go through all the cases, then we can make more consensus and come up to a better diagnostic approaches. Thank you.